of in the ballpark of what you want for him. We'll just take a breath as Sky Racing 1 are about to transition through. Thanks, Tim. On the way to the boxes for the first of tonight's feature races, the Group 3 Fireball, which of course is the entree for the Group 1 Maturity Classic, being race 8 tonight. And boys, the market's all about Magpie Hector. We know he's going to find trouble at some point in the race, but he's going to finish like a runaway train. Do you think he's going to get a clear enough run, Nathan, to take this out?
Yeah, I do. I think he can sit mid-pack and get outside of the trouble in the early part of the race, the first half of the race, to the post the first time, Jace. I think he'll let the race unfold. He'll get out to the wider parts, and then he oozes class. He's a Group 1 winner. He lobs here in what looks to be a downgraded Group 3 race. There's a few of these runners stepping up to the 700 for the first time last week. Where are they going to position? How are they going to be? Second week here, we know that he just grinds away week in, week out. And I think he can just sit there, stalk him, come with one run in the second half of this race and be too strong. I think the main dangers where the market has gravitated is Amron Toy. He's the speed factor, he's the leader, and he's in the zone. He's been putting races away the past month by 3, 4, 5 lengths. If there's any trouble in behind, he can take full advantage with his early speed. 6, Mapunga Breeze into third, going quite well. And I threw Vodka and Ice, genuine star, drawn the wrong side of the track, but must respect 3, 6, 7, and 8 my numbers.
And as we heard during the week on Racing Extra, Nathan Gretsch did say as soon as markets open, there was initial support for the 7 in Amron Toy, and he is who you're with, Michael Ty.
He is. Just late here, he's gone 360 into 320, then back out to 340. Amron Toy, he ran sizzling sectionals last week. He's chased his heart out the last 2 starts. This is the dog that's in the zone at the moment. And I'm just a little bit concerned here with Elite 1 and in moderation, potentially annoying Magpie Hector enough that he could react negatively. It was close to finding trouble last week, Magpie Hector, but the champion that he is, he picked himself back up, chased his heart out and won. I'm just thinking tonight, if Amron Toy can begin like he did last week, run those sizzling sectionals, I think it might be enough to hold on to win, and he's got the hot hand at the moment, and Brett Bravo's a multiple Group 1 winning trainer, and I'm going to back him in here, 7, 3, 6 and 1.
All right, let's get these feature races underway. And what better way to do it than one of the best stayers in Australia, Magpie Hector. Here's James for the Fireball of 2026.
Water. Let's see how it plays out. The 2026 Group 3 Fireball, favourite Magpie Hector from Forbes in New South Wales, and they're set to run. Green light on. The stayers are ready now. Set. Off and racing. Magpie Hector third last away. Elite 1 flew out from the 2. Straight over to lead Amron Toy, who moves up swiftly, applies the pressure, and they go head and head early. Amron Toy with Elite 1 just having a little bump, getting to third in moderation. Magpie Hector starts to make his move. A lap to go as Amron Toy claims the lead. Magpie Hector gets to third, and he's only 4 off the lead in a Butte place. They're clear now from in moderation. Then Mapunga Breeze, Slick Nitro, Vodka and Ice at the end. Amron Toy led by a length and a half from Elite 1, who runs a great race. Now Magpie Hector starts to switch through the gears, and he's running on with Mapunga Donna. Turning, Amron Toy the leader. Magpie Hector's flying. He's flying hard, and the star from Forbes has won the Fireball. What a great win. Magpie Hector by a neck arrived to beat Amron Toy right on the line. Third Elite 1, then Mapunga Donna. A break to Mapunga Breeze, who was back with Vodka and Ice in moderation. Slick Nitro, he's going to get up in the last hop, the Magpie. 42 and 39, what a star he is.
He's a star indeed, James Vandermart. Magpie Hector, and he loomed up into a magnificent position past the post for the first time. And I tell you what, Amron Toy out in front, he's gone much better than what he did last week. He's certainly put the time on the board. And for Magpie Hector, I mean, he just got the run that he needed, boys. He had to work a little bit harder for it than what we thought he may have, but in the end, class prevailed.
Yeah, that was the making of the race, wasn't it? He actually got through this little scrimmage okay. He had to hold his ground and do some hustling and bustling, but when you race at Group 1 level, week in, week out, you're prepared to do that. And right here, Jace, when he's fourth, he's out by himself. He's got some tearaway leaders in front of him. I thought he's right in the zone here. He's right, but credit to Amron Toy, who improved again after being worked overtime by Elite One in the first 100 metres. We thought he'd just spear and create his own luck. He had to work overtime. Elite One showed really good speed and made Amron Toy work, and that might have been the deciding factor. You know, there wasn't much between them in the end. There's only a neck, and that first 100, 150 metres, Elite One, who stuck on and run third as well, another real good eye-catching run by that greyhound, stepping up to 700 metres for only the second time. But I think that was a key factor, was just how close he got and how well he got through this scrimmage to come out of that by doing the hustling and bustling and get to fourth and only a few lengths outside of Amron Toy. He needed to be that close in the end because they've run some time, and he was quite good and a much-deserved win.
That's where the race is won and lost here. Just that behind-the-boxes footage there was fascinating. Just see Elite One just denying Amron Toy that soft lead and rail spot, just having to work that little bit extra hard. He only really shrugged him off around about the 525 boxes the first time around, but just that little bit of extra energy used there by Amron Toy. So he's chased his heart out the last couple of starts, and he's done so again tonight. And for Magpie Hector to come out of the pack like that, we knew he would. He was out in space. You don't care if he's covering some extra metres because he's just going to keep coming, show what a champion he is there. And that race pretty much went to the script. With Amron Toy only getting nailed right on the line by one of the best stayers of the last couple of years. Another group race win for Magpie Hector. We've seen his brother, Slick Splits, is currently at stud, and often it's when there's great litters like this, they're the ones that become fantastic stud dogs, which so Slick Splits, and will be sitting there waiting for the ladies, but his brother of another group win tonight with the Group 3 Fireball.
Speak for yourself, Duck. Magpie Hector, way too good, and geez, he had to work hard for it, as we know. And I think we spoke about it earlier when discussing Poor Damon, how a sign of class is when they can sort of get the hustle and bustle, and that's what happens with Magpie Hector week after week, and he still finds himself in that position where it was perfect for him tonight. So, I mean, for a lot of greyhounds, it would be race over from that point onwards, wouldn't it? It'd be handbrake on, out you go, with the amount of sort of argy-bargy of which he puts himself through early. So credit to him once again.
And almost tease you enough to leave his run too late that you go, oh, next time. And then they tend to get back again and you go, next time. And they just keep leaving their run too late. But this dog finds that way to get up right on the line. Amron Toy really has done nothing wrong there and just got nailed late by a champion.
He cops them checks, doesn't he, in that first 50 metres, but doesn't lose ground. I think that's the key factor.
That's absolutely key.
That's the key. You know, you see some dogs cop a little bump and lose 3 lengths and over-exaggerated, but he cops them and bounces off them and still keeps his momentum and keeps himself into the race. And that's how... That wasn't clean racing for him for the first 50, 80 metres, but he was still coming out of the first turn, you know, in 4th position. And that's the quality of the greyhound, but then that's what makes him so good at such a high level because he can cop that and still bounce off that, and that was the winning move of the race, was being able to put himself close enough even though he found that interference. We only talked, you know, last week in the heat going, oh, it could have been slightly different. It was in a hairy spot and he got through it, but once again, it was the same tonight. He just finds a way to get through it, and that's what good dogs do, and he's certainly a good stayer.
And it feels like we talk about it on repeat with this bloke. And Duck, we've seen a lot of greyhounds come to Victoria every single year, and it's very difficult for the interstaters to turn up and find their finest form, whether it be the new environment, whether it be the pure class of the Victorian greyhounds. But for this bloke here to drive around, of which he does, all the way up the East Coast and get out of the car and produce performances that are basically exactly the same week after week, you just got to admire it.
110%. And there's a lot of New South Wales dogs that come down here with a big reputation and the different box mechanisms, and they tend to be more of a tease than perform down here, whereas maybe dogs from other states, even Western Australia and Queensland, when they do come here, their dogs probably perform better. So it gives even more merit to Magpie Hector, really, because there's a lot of New South Wales dogs who haven't been at their best down here, but this is one who's been not only at his best, almost better than he is in New South Wales, which is an incredible effort because the tough racing down here, and you know, Jack Smith isn't just picking off easy races for this dog. He's going to where the hardest staying races are, and he'll be, I'm sure the dog will, if he is fine and no issues going forward. He'll be right there front and centre at the Nationals.
And just before we take a quick break, I mean, you mentioned the Nationals. That's where a lot of these greyhounds are going ahead. And we know Magpie Hector will go back up to Wentworth Park and probably give him an absolute bath. But at least from a Victorian point of view, I think the performances of Emerald Toy and Elite One tonight certainly throw a spanner in the works. I mean, particularly from a speeds, overall time point of view, because we know Without a Trace has been the dominant stayer out of Victoria in the past almost year. And although there's been others who have been handy, they haven't been able to run the overall time, of which she can. So for those two to do what they've done tonight and put the numbers on the board, I think it throws a spanner in the works for what we should expect in the Victorian distance final.
A lot of credit should go to Paula Bella too for giving this dog a go over the distance and seeing what would happen. And then you might be pleasantly surprised of how well he's gone the last couple of starts. He looks to be really learning. I said pre-race, sometimes it takes these dogs 30 starts to really learn what their niche is. 33 starts in tonight, Elite One's done that. He's ran third. Paula Bella should be thrilled with that run. In moderation's another I've seen Josh Formosa say in the press during the week that 2 to 3